The human world, with all its technological marvels, is a fortress built against the unpredictable forces of nature. We construct towering power plants to fuel our cities, believing our engineering makes us masters of our environment. But in a stunning silent blow, the animal kingdom has just struck a crippling blow to one of France's largest nuclear power plants. Our next report tells you how.
The French nuclear power plant at Gravelines, a colossal coastal bastion of energy production. It's designed to be impervious to all but the most catastrophic of events. Its sophisticated systems, from its reactors to its cooling apparatus, built to keep the lights on for millions, a testament to the power of human ingenuity. But its defenses, so robust against conventional threats, were utterly helpless against an attack from an ancient and unexpected enemy. A massive swarm of jellyfish, an army from the deep oceans, has clogged the plant's cooling water intake systems. The sheer weight and number of the creatures overwhelmed the filters, forcing an emergency shutdown of multiple reactors and bringing this industrial giant to its knees.
There were 4 reactors out of the 6 at Gravelines Nuclear Plant that were in production that had to shut down, that had an emergency shutdown of the reactor because jellyfish got into the channel that allows the 3rd circuit to pump water into the North Sea.
Au 3e circuit de pomper de l'eau dans la mer du Nord.
This stunning incident is not an isolated event, but a potent symptom of a world in flux. The North Sea, like oceans across the globe, is now experiencing record-breaking warmth, creating an ideal, supercharged breeding ground for these swarms. This very same phenomenon is also responsible for a curious and unsettling new reality in Britain's waters. As the seas heat up, extraordinary new species are now making their homes around the UK, a migration driven by changing temperatures. The arrival of octopus and bluefin tuna, once exotic visitors, now serves as a stark reminder of the profound, often invisible consequences of a warming planet. The jellyfish in France and the new species in the UK are 2 sides of a single global story. When the ocean strikes back, it does so in ways we can neither anticipate nor easily.
All right, world's 2 biggest economies have decided to pause their economic warfare. The US made a surprising concession, a 90-day pause on tariffs for Chinese goods. Critics question that how the US President Donald Trump can take on all other big and small economies, but when it comes to taming the dragon, he needs to think twice. Our next report telling you more.
Look at that. China, first row. China, 67%.
The trade war with China has been a defining feature of recent American foreign policy, a battle waged with tariffs and sanctions. It has been framed as a fight for American jobs and a necessary correction to decades of unfair trade practices. Yet, in a course reversal, the White House has hit the pause button, halting a tariff hike that W is poised to deliver a crushing blow.
We'll see what happens. China's been, we've been dealing very nicely with China, as you probably have heard. They have tremendous tariffs that they're paying to the United States of America. And we'll see what happens. They've been dealing quite nicely. The relationship is very good with President Xi and myself.
The complexity lies in the very fabric of the global economy, where America is inextricably linked to the dragon it seeks to tame. The Chinese economy is a behemoth, a colossal engine of production that the U.S. cannot simply detach from without risking a catastrophic self-inflicted wound. A full-scale tariff war is a two-way sword that harms American consumers and businesses as much as it does Beijing. Many experts are also pointing out how Trump going soft on China but playing hardball with India.
Well, I think that India is very concerned about its relative position, and they're particularly concerned about what's going on with China. China is a bigger importer of oil, for example, than India from Russia. And yet that doesn't seem to have gone into the discussions thus far. And indeed, it seems that now President Trump is taking a softer line with China, trying to get some overall deal than he is with India, which is supposed to be a friend and ally as opposed to an adversary like China.
U.S. dependency on Chinese goods, from electronics to rare earth minerals, critical for advanced technologies, means harsher tariffs risk unleashing painful inflationary shocks and supply chain upheaval at home. U.S. Vice President Vance calls it complicated.
Well, the president said he's thinking about it, but he hasn't made any firm decisions. Obviously, the China issue is a little bit more complicated because our relationship with China, it affects a lot of other things that have nothing to do with the Russian situation. So the president's reviewing his options and, of course, going to make that decision when he decides.
The world watches as the giants cautiously extend their tariff ceasefire, a prelude to a summit that could decide the future shape of global trade and power.
Loud snoring, restless sleep, and daytime sleepiness. Sounds familiar, right? Around 1 billion people around the world suffer from sleep apnea, a common sleep disorder where breathing starts and stops repeatedly during sleep. A new study now says the remedy is just a conch away. Yes, blowing a conch could help you sleep better, feel more alert during the day, and even have fewer breathing problems at night. This is as per a study by the Eternal Health Center Care and Research Institute in India. Conch is a spiral-shaped shell, and blowing it is an ancient ritual in India that involves breathing in deeply and exhaling into the shell. The trial involved 30 people suffering from obstructive sleep apnea, or OSA. The trials found that those who had practiced shunk blowing were 34% less sleepy during the day. They also had higher blood oxygen levels during the night and 4 to 5 fewer OSA episodes on an hour on an average. A larger trial involving several hospitals is now being planned in the future.